This is the ROG Strix X870-A motherboard from ASUS. It's built around the AM5 socket and the latest X870 chipset, with support for AMD Ryzen 7000, 8000 and the new 9000 series CPUs. Fans of white hardware are going to absolutely love this one. Let's take a quick look at the accessories that come in the box. This is the Wi-Fi antenna, also white to match the board, which is nice. ASUS keeping it consistent, I like that. Down here we have our user's manual, and this is a big sheet of ASUS swag. It's just a bunch of different stickers. This is more swag. It's an ASUS ROG keychain. They give us two SATA cables. One has a 90-degree connector and the other is just straight. This here is just some zip ties for tying down cables in your build. There's a few packs of these little rubber support thingies for your M.2 drives. And this is an ASUS M.2 Q slides in slots designed for longer drives. And the last thing here is a spare M.2 latching post. And here's the board. It's a Strix board, so you know it's going to have all the gamer styling that ASUS can possibly throw at it. But with this one, it's not a bad thing, because it looks amazing. This is the nicest looking motherboard I've seen in a while. The white PCB and the steel heat sinks and heat shields everywhere. End look. And I think it's going to be a popular choice for people building systems focused on high visibility, whether that's with an open air frame or one of the popular fish tank style cases. This thing's got some serious weight to it. All that metal on there really adds up. I like heavy components. It makes me feel like they're more durable and premium compared to lightweight and flimsy stuff. We have dual 8 pins. That's important, especially for high-end CPUs. Got to make sure they can get enough power to reach their max boost clocks and maintain stability. The power design is made up of 16 plus 2 phases. MOSFETs are sitting under a couple of really big heat sinks, and it's hard to see there, but there are some thermal pads over the chokes to help keep those cool as well. Overall, it's a pretty robust looking cooling system, and it looks like it should do a good job keeping all that power circuitry running cool, which is obviously important for stability and the longevity of your system. And despite the huge amount of built-in cooling around all those power circuitry components, it does look like there's plenty of room around the socket to get your CPU installed and your CPU cooler without too much. 4 DDR5 DIMM slots with a maximum capacity of 192 GB of ECC and non-ECC unbuffered memory at speeds up to 8,000 mega transfers per second OC. You can check the official memory compatibility list on the ASUS support website to make sure you're picking RAM modules that are going to work with this board. It's always a good idea to check RAM compatibility because some motherboards can be kind of picky with certain kinds of RAM, and there's nothing worse than a compatibility issue when you build a brand new system. There's a total of 4 M.2 slots. 3 are hidden behind this big heat sink shield, and 1 sits right above the main PCIe slot under a quick release heatsink. They storage devices, and slot number 2 can take up to 22110. It's super important to pay attention to your drive configuration because there are some limitations based on how many drives you have and where you install them. Assuming you're using a Ryzen 9000 series CPU, M.2 slot number 1 supports PCIe 5.0 Big 4 mode, and so does M.2 slot number 2, and they're connected directly to the CPU. But when there's a drive installed in slot number 2, your graphics card will be capped at £8 mode instead of £16 because the bandwidth is shared between the main PCIe £16 slot and M.2 slot number 2. The other 2 M.2 slots, number 3 and 4, support PCIe 4.0 by 4 mode, and they're connected through the X870 chipset. All this can definitely be a little bit confusing, so I recommend pulling up the manual set up properly. For added storage, there's also 2 SATA 6 gigabits per second ports, which is actually the least I've seen on a motherboard in a while. So if you're considering this motherboard for a build that's going to have a lot of hard drives or regular SSDs, then you might want to look elsewhere. There's 2 PCIe expansion slots. Slot number 1 supports PCIe 5.0 by 16 direct to the CPU. And slot number 2 supports PCIe 4.0 by 16 through the X870 chipset. So, for maximum bandwidth with the latest PCIe 5.0 graphics cards, you're going to want to stick to that main slot right there. There's 5 internal USB headers, 2 USB 2.0 headers here, 2 more 5 gigabits per second headers over here, and this one's a 20 gigabits per second Type-C header. Altogether, these can power up to 9 front panel USB ports, and I wish I had a case with that many USB ports, because I guarantee you I would use them all. Audio components are in the bottom left corner. It's an ROG Supreme FX ALC4080 codec, supporting 7.1 channels and up to 32-bit playback. People who like a lot of fans in their system should like this board. There's a total of 8 fan headers on here. These 3 are for your CPU fan, AIO pump and CPU optional. And then we have system fans number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There's some RGB on the big shroud over the rear I/O area, and obviously that's to be expected on a gamer board. Plus there's 2 3-pin ARGB Gen5 headers here, and 1 more up here by the DIMM slots and fan headers. And being an ASUS board, you can use AuraSync to get all your lighting configured and all working together. There's a couple other things on here for overclockers and enthusiasts. There's a temperature sensor header here, and there's a CPU overvoltage jumper over here that'll allow you to set a higher CPU voltage if you want to. The back panel has a pre-installed I/O shield with DisplayPort, clear CMOS and BIOS flash buttons, HDMI, a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port, 5 10 gigabits per second USB Type-A ports, 2 40 gigabits per second USB Type-C ports, 1 10 gigabits per second USB Type-C port with 30 watt power delivery fast charge, 5 USB 5 gigabits per second USB Type-A ports, Wi-Fi connectors, and this board supports Wi-Fi 7, and there's the audio jacks and an optical port. So lots of USB connectivity right there on the back panel. Plus remember, you can add an additional 9 front panel ports as well. So altogether, this board is an absolute beast when it comes to USB ports. Overall, this is a pretty nice looking motherboard from ASUS, with strong power regulation components, a decent amount of storage capacity, good cooling, and room for lots of ARGB accessories. It should turn out to be a nice board for high-end system builders looking for white components. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more smart product reviews and buyer's guides. All featured products and the best Amazon deals are linked in the description below. Only on Shop X Smart.